Welcome to the Yeah Come On Show podcast. Southside Steve and Jeff Cole, my co-host. It's about life, liberty, and the pursuit of show business. And do we have a show for you today? This is a guy that I know all too well. We actually played amateur soccer together, and that would be in the ADASL, and that was an Atlanta league, Jeff. I rose to the top at the amateur level. Could I have played professional? I'm going to go to my grave saying maybe.
Well, what was higher, whatever that level, or the I Love Top Hat Soccer? Because all I remember in the 90s is seeing I Love Top Hat Soccer bumper
That was
stickers.
a soccer club. It was a joke. It was nothing compared to the level we were
It wasn't
playing
real.
at. No. We were just right there at a pay level. But I had tried out, played First Division Amateur for Dark Horse Tavern's team, got involved in soccer at that high level, just under pro, and I'm like, this is fun. You know, I'm in my early mid-20s, and then I said, I want my own team, so I formed a team, and you have to start at the bottom at second division, but if you have a winning team out of the 24 teams, first or second place, you move up to first division. And the guy that's going to be on our show today, Jason Bowen, was on that team. We were the Grandstand Rowdies, which was a bar that we all loved. It was in Buckhead. They sponsored the team. We moved up. We get into first division. Then 96 Rock, our alma mater, sponsored the first division team. And we also played a ton of indoor together.
This is before you started working at 96 Rock.
Yes. Yep. It was before I was working at 96 Rock. So as I was getting into radio, my partner Jason, that you'll meet here in a second, who was on the team, and he was a soccer player, but he started doing some golf. And he started working as a golf pro, and he started getting around famous people, memorabilia, and then he started working with a couple of guys that you and I know through the industry, and landed his own company, and it's called A-Town Authentics. And he's going to come on and talk about what he does, what it's like to own a memorabilia company. How do you get it? What does it cost? What do the athletes charge you? What's the upsell? When you do a charity event, what's your take? What do you got to give to the charity? Everything having to do with it, because do you not love that? Everybody that has a man cave wants a piece.
Yeah.
Up to.
And
you're more rock stuff.
Yeah, and I want to ask him about this because I was at a golf tournament years ago, and I wanted to donate. I wanted to buy something, but I didn't want a sports thing. That doesn't go in my man cave because I'm a music guy. So I ended up buying this Frank Sinatra thing. It wasn't signed or anything. It was just a nice framed picture of Frank Sinatra and a quote. And that was a non-sports memorabilia that I was able to buy.
What is
and
the
donate
quote?
to charity. It's
I couldn't afford the signature?
No, he knows. He'll know. We'll talk about it. I'll show it too. It's
okay.
It's him at a table full of drinks. I think it's him and Dean Martin. And it says, "I feel sorry for people that don't drink. When they wake up in the morning, that's the best they're going to feel."
I agree.
And that spoke to me, so I bought it. And that was the one I bought.
And it's a great time to mention our sponsor, and it is Yeah Come On Bourbon Whiskey by Legends, and this is an 80 proof, and anybody that's in our putt-putt golf tournament, which we're going to talk about on the 24th this week, will get a free bottle. You also get a free t-shirt. You designed it. You put it together, and you get a Yeah Come On golf ball. Who doesn't want one of those? Maybe I'll sign it. I don't know. Depends what kind of mood I'm in.
And then he can auction it at the end of the night.
Who's got $3? $3 going once. But it doesn't matter. But we will bring him in to talk about his involvement with the 1-year anniversary of Fox FM, the 2-year anniversary of my bourbon at Legends Distillery in Cumming, Georgia, and the golf tournament that takes place just a mile away, a little less than a mile, and that will be at 10 Cup Grill, and that is a really cool putt-putt golf tournament. So a tournament turns into a 2-year anniversary, which turns into a concert.
Yeah.
That's our plan, and what goes better with that than memorabilia? And that is for the golfers. That is also for some giveaways. He's going to give some stuff away. So right now, the Yeah Come On Show podcast welcomes from A-Town Authentics, Jason Bowen. And here's Jason, and we're all sucking in a little bit because we don't run anymore. Although, thanks to I guess COVID or my wife getting on me, I've lost a little about 30 pounds. So I'm a little thinner. It's probably about the size I was when we were playing soccer. I feel like I can run now, but I like having the weight. I like running into people and knocking them down. and instead of getting knocked down. But man, I don't know how many games we played together. A lot of soccer, a lot of indoor and outdoor.
A lot of it. Yeah, you'd be the one doing the running right now because I'm not keeping up. So,
but you've been playing soccer, I heard, a little
up
bit.
until about 4 or 5 years ago. I was still playing fairly regularly, but
yeah.
Age catches us all at some point.
That was me too. I was doing tournaments with my brothers, and probably about 8 years ago, and then about 7, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna stick to golf because the knees are good. I never tore anything, ripped anything, God bless, and I still want to snow ski. So I'm like, let's just knock on wood, walls, bottles, anything to keep me healthy. But we pushed through and we made it.
You were there for my only major injury that I ever had playing any sports. And it was the worst pain I've ever been in my life.
Oh, you're talking about when your penis got knocked off.
Well,
it
very
was
close.
horrible. The ball hit it. It went flying. I literally helped sew it back on, but it was awesome.
It was very close. I broke my tailbone. I was playing it coming out. You were at that game. I went out. I was a goalkeeper at the time, and I went out on a ball, and a guy came from behind and slid down and hit his knee, hit my backside, and I laid in a prone position for about 10 minutes. Said, "Don't touch me." Do
you remember the fight I started with Clayton Junior College? So I pushed a guy, and then he hit me, and I hit him. Yeah, and it was right. And me, imagine that, dude. I got in fights all the time.
So it was like hockey.
Yeah, and I look up, and I'm like, oh damn, I'm in front of their bench. Holy shit. And everybody piled on me and came on me. And the next thing I know, one of our guys, instead of opening the door to climb over to help, he played rugby. He literally falls and he breaks his arm. So he never even made it to the fight. But things like that happen. And then we become older and bigger boys. I kind of went into radio, which I just started while we were still playing together. And I talked earlier, in the show about your golfing background. But then you find your way into memorabilia and you're working for a company, but you're like, I can do this a different way or a different spin or better in my eyes. And that's America.
Right.
We talked about that. You were on our show, the Southside Ride Fox FM, and we got into that a little bit. So I just want to know quickly, how did you become what you are now? And then we'll talk about where you are, and were there any failures? We're all about throwing spaghetti against the wall, leaves stains if it doesn't stick. How many stains do you have?
More than I care to share, for sure.
Lost some money?
Stain. Yeah, well, of course, there's money involved, there's pride, and, all those things that get in the way, like you say, when we're younger and more...
Did it cost you relationships?
Of course.
Are you on your third marriage?
No. Still the same woman for the second marriage. How's that?
Wow.
Yeah, we'll go into that one.
That's for drink. We will talk about that when we crack open the bottle. How he married a woman and got back with her. It's a conversation. But when you do what we're talking about, and it's fun to sit here and laugh, but when a person is chasing dreams, and Jeff, my co-host, same thing, it costs you marriages, it costs you friendships, it costs you 401ks, and it costs you second mortgages. If you don't want to bring in a money guy that's going to tell you what to do, you want to do it yourself, or you don't have investors that are hands off, it's tough.
For sure.
So so money, a lot
of money. I mean, that you put your heart and soul into something, and obviously you're if you're a smart business mind, you don't spend as much. You're watching where every dime goes, and you reinvest your profits back into the company. So you always have that to think of. Am I going to have the nest egg? Am I going to blow it all here? I'm trying to save for later at the same time and balance everything. It's all those things that go into to building a business. And the good thing about the business and the industry that I've had is it's always refreshing. That's the great thing about sports and entertainment. Even is there's always that next superstar, that next person. There's always that next relationship, and the way that we go out and distribute our product mainly is through the charity fundraising events. And Atlanta being such a philanthropic town and so many organizations and fantastic, wonderful partners to work with and support, there's always a group that needs assistance and always somebody else that's looking to do a fundraising effort or a nice event where they could use some of our items to help
Do
make a
athletes
difference.
know that's what you're doing? Does that one reason why athletes sign? Because anytime you get something signed, I've always allowed people, running into famous people when you do a major market radio show, which I did on a corporate level for 2 huge rock stations. There was somebody famous in our studio every week because that's what the name of the game. It's entertaining for the listener. They've got something they want to talk about. They know you're the biggest signal. It's a way to get their information out, whether it's a concert or God, Paul Stanley's come in more for his art than he ever has for Kiss.
Right.
It's all about his art. And I dig it, and I love the hustle. And, but when you're meeting these guys, anytime they sign something, I've always allowed them to sign it to me. So everything's south to Southside Steve, and then they sign because they kind of realize, all right, you're not going to go sell it.
Right.
So that's why I've allowed them to do it. But when somebody gives you just their signature, they don't know what your angle is. But with you, they do. They know you're going to sell it.
For sure.
But how is there a different price point on whether it goes to charity or whether it goes just for you selling like at my golf tournament?
Not really. There's a whole industry behind the signed memorabilia gang. I mean, we were talking earlier about, society and how we're all drawn, and you guys have been in the entertainment business forever, and a lot of people have a taste of it or a touch of it, but the majority of people don't. They don't get a chance to rub elbows with a lot of the people that you've mentioned, the famous athletes, the rock stars and such.
Oh, you'll love a piece I got. I just got to mention it now because I've got The Love of the Game, the Kevin Costner movie.
Right.
It came out, they sent us a pack
Love
when the
that
movie was coming out, and it was a baseball clock. And it says, for the love of the game inside the clock, and it's shaped like a baseball, and you just set it on your nightstand. It's a jinky little thing, but when I interviewed Kevin Costner, I had him sign it.
Heck yeah.
And then I had him sign a golf ball for 10 Cup.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, those are 2 items I have, and I'm like, I don't know what that's worth.
Those are one-offs. Those definitely add value for sure than something that he signed 1,000 times, and a 10 Cup movie poster or a Field of Dreams movie poster.
See, and then you get the movie
more individual, right?
Yeah, and you get the movie posters. But what led you? And I just want to talk about now. You talk about getting back into a marriage twice. Jeff's had like 5 divorces, and he's married to rock and roll. No, he's 1, but he's on a second wife, and I just like to throw it in there. Jeff has 19 kids, 1 he knows of, right? I've got, seriously.
There's got to be some Southside Steve.
He saw it. He saw it happening. Yeah.
Ponytails running around out there.
Ponytails there's a lot of ponytails out there. Every time I see a kid with a ponytail, I'm like, Steve Jr. But what I want to bring up is, in talking about this, one of our sponsors, David Markwell, and that's Markwell Therapy. And I think he's the best sponsor to have for our podcast or anything, because there's a lot of people out there going through some mental stuff. Whether you're suffering for depression, you got a lot of young kids, not raised by me, but raised by people like you. No offense. You're older, but there's a lot of Puss in Boots out there for kids in college right now, and your kid's college age. I'm just saying, is your kid a man?
Yes, he's going to Georgia Tech.
Nice.
Okay.
Well done. Good job.
But there's a lot of kids out there suffering from pain. Just watch it when certain politicians lose, the crying and the agony. They're not listening to authorities and police, not getting out of the car and doing what you're told, where I always did that, which is why I never got my ass kicked by a policeman. But to me, if you know you've got some issues, MarkwellTherapy.com. That's David Markwell, one of our sponsors. Call David. Because of now the issues that we had with the pandemic, I did air quotes. You saw what I did there, Jeff? He does Zoom things too if you can't come in, but it's better to go in. He's got 2 locations, one in Blue Ridge and one in Marietta. He's fantastic. I went to him for premarital counseling. I just wanted to make sure I was ready for this. Dude, I did 18 sessions. I said, I think I'm ready now. That's how many I had to do. I looked at my wife. Let's go 1 more. Let's do 1 more before we actually get married. But that's a great sponsor and one to mention. And then the last one I want to bring up to you is for athletes, Joe B's Bee Pollen. Now, Joe, I know you're clicking your heels every time, but Joe B's, that's JOEBEES.com. I take 2 bee pollen capsules a day. I've been doing it for about 6 years. Energy at our age. So I want you to do some bee pollen. I need you to get on. Pollen. And my allergies went away, brother.
Love it.
Remember all the sneezing we used to do on the on the soccer fields?
Always weird grasses out there.
Do you know I was allergic to grass and didn't know it? I'm playing on effing grass.
If only we'd have known back then.
That's the reason I'm not playing well, Jason.
That's a built-in excuse right there, man.
I'm allergic. I'm allergic to the grass, man. Not the other grass. I was fine to smoke it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
There's some of that floating around.
there you go. But joebees.com. Get yourself some bee pollen in your system. But talking to you athletes, you're running into people that are involved still playing, or they're not still in the game, and that whole process, I think there's nights that you got to be out, there's locations, there's a lot of time that you're on the run, and that had to have been tough coming through and starting your own company. I mean, I can't imagine the hours.
Well, as with any company that is successful, there's always the man hours and the dedication and the sacrifice, like you say, that you put in, whether it's late nights, like you say, on the road, missing a ball game with a kid, or missing the dinner with wife. So
How many kids?
just one. That's all we need right now.
Boy or girl?
Boy, 16.
And he played what sports?
He played soccer growing up, and he's
Just like Dad.
mainly a basketball player now. Yeah.
Really?
Yep, loves basketball.
Oh, wow.
He's a shooter.
Oh, he's a shooter. I like it.
He can drain it.
All right. Well, then, so you got an athlete, so he must love what Daddy does for a living.
He enjoys it. There's always that perspective of a lot of kids where they don't maybe fully appreciate everything that you do, but he's definitely started his own collection. He's a homer. He likes the hometown teams, but he gets, like most kids, caught up in who's winning now. So he's a big Chiefs fan. So he's got Patrick Mahomes helmet, got Tyreek Hill, some of those guys that
Wow.
Chiefs guys. So I'm trying to
See, when I hear
hometown
Chiefs,
stuff grow on them. So
when I hear Chiefs, I think of the Atlanta Chiefs, because I was going to all those games at
That was
Fulton
my
County.
first thing, too.
beautiful.
Fulton County Stadium. I remember all those guys.
right.
Adrian Brooks, who ran and was a part owner of the indoor arena that you and I played in Fayetteville. So real quick, I want to show a few pieces here. But
Speaking of soccer.
doing what you're doing, and speaking of soccer, I'm going to show you the ultimate piece. I know it's always a hit or miss, and I'm going to ask you in a second who you think the greatest soccer player of all time, or who the top three. And I know you got memorabilia from all of them. But tell us real quick, I want to show some pictures. These are some of the things you've done, some of the events. So these are like charity events and stuff where A-Town Authentics goes.
Absolutely. So that's always been the core of how we distribute items. We have fantastic relationships with a lot of the charities that you've heard of, and a lot of the big ones around town, all the way down to your little league team that's looking to raise money to go to a tournament in Cooperstown. We'll do all levels of events and support them. And the great thing about what we do is it doesn't cost them any money to get involved and to allow us to come out. So we'll set up all of our memorabilia items at one of their events, or we do have the ability now to do the mobile bidding and online auction. So
Wow.
it theoretically doesn't have to be a physical event, but it always helps to see, touch, and feel the memorabilia in front of you. And it's a great program where they get to share in the profit of what the auction raises for the sale of the piece.
Man.
And
And the
it's
one that,
fantastic.
the one that I mentioned, the piece that I bought, was at the Angel Flight charity.
Absolutely, that was us. Yeah, that was our.
Yeah,
piece.
that was you. Okay,
So
you
A-Town Authentics, you do the Angel Flight stuff? Because
We
that's
did,
what
yeah.
is that the one with
We've had
Steve
a-
Craig?
Yeah. So would you tell him how fun that tournament is?
Oh, it's a good one.
He
They have
refused to
blast.
go this year. He could have gone this year, but he went to some other.
Come on, Steve.
He went to some other tournament. I was like, no, you don't understand. The
didn't
Angel
re-
Flight tournament is a charity, and it's I think the best one. That's what I hear. I've only been in there, but it's one of the best, right?
Oh, absolutely. One of the first.
Chateau
highest
Amman.
crest at
I know,
Chateau.
it's always at
every
Chateau?
year. Pretty much. They've been there for a long time.
All right, I'll go next
if you're
time.
lucky, I'll invite
That's
you
my
next
that's
year.
my backyard. That's how I live up there. So you got to come up there.
So he does all the T-shirts for the event,
Nice.
and everybody from 99X is there. Now maybe I was still a little sore about getting blown out at Rock 100.5. Okay,
Yeah.
second time alternative music has taken my career. You wonder why I don't like it. We won't even get into 96 Rock and Project 961. But here's a piece. The hell with my face. Look at this guy. Tell me what's going on here.
Well, that's the infamous bicycle kick that Pele was world renowned for. I mean, this sort of cemented his name and legacy and spread the word as the photograph circled around the world. But amazing. It's got an authentic signature here with authentication by PSA. And, what we really try to do, Steve, is people have seen.
By the way, on the back is the authentic stuff where
Yep.
you know that this piece is real deal. It's all on the back of every picture.
So, the one thing that's been crucial with us being able to be successful is the quality of the framing.
Nice frame.
Yeah, we
Very nice.
We've seen
And the
a lot of
matting
these
is
prints.
excellent.
Right, you'll see a lot of memorabilia out there, and I don't take anything away from any competitors, but we go the extra mile with a higher quality frame that has a little bit of style to it, different matte cuts,
Right.
Suede. You'll see some suede in there, so it makes it look really nice.
I like suede.
So, suede is
and
good.
I'll tell you right now, to my wife, this proves that it's not all about me, that I would put a picture in front of my face. So,
yeah, here's another one.
I mean, what did she say about me? What did she say? What are those people?
Narcissistic.
She said I'm narcissistic. She was just saying I need to watch it, that, it's all about me, at least in our relationship. I'm like, well, okay. I'll try to share, be a true partner.
That's right.
So this is to show people that I'm okay with. It's not about me right now.
Here's
What do we have
another one
here?
that could be for the non-sports fan.
Absolutely. No, this one's amazing. This is unfortunately he's not with us anymore, but Stan Lee, everybody's familiar with, one of the co-founders of Marvel Comics, and the idea guy behind Superman, or I'm sorry, not Superman, but Spider-Man, and a lot of other famous Marvel characters that they've done a fantastic job of making the movies of here through the years. So this exact print is by Ruffino, the artist, but he signed it personally right here. It's a collection of characters, but then, again, we don't just frame the print. We try to add some character and a little bit more to it. So we have the logo, obviously some covers of some other comics, a nice little logo here, beautiful matte cut suede. Try to take it to the next level. Something that people are going to
Can I
be
get an
proud to
idea?
hang on the wall.
Can I get an idea of what something like this cost?
I usually open that around $1,200 to $1,400 at an event. It'll be the opening
Yeah.
bid, and then sometimes it'll bid up a good bit higher than that.
Wow.
But it's a masterpiece in your house for your man cave.
No,
or
that's
wherever.
one that you'd have forever, right?
Yeah.
Here's some nostalgia for you.
Oh boy.
Going back, Steve might even have some stories of back in the day with
I've hung out with Dion a couple times.
prime time.
Prime time.
So try to add a little bit to it. This is a sort of an iconic photo of Dion back in the day when he was playing baseball and football and deciding or playing both as much as he could. And you could frame up that piece by itself, but we wanted to surround it with some other, photos. So you got him high stepping after a pick six up here. Everybody in Atlanta remembers the famous helicopter shuttle between during the World Series. That's from a Falcons game to the World Series, where he went and he actually got into the game, and I believe he hit a triple that game and went all the way around the bases. And
Unbelievable.
So both logos, and here you got a nice photo with him stealing a base, but he starts off with a Falcon, becomes a Brave. So just add some character to it. Again, trying to elevate stuff that people will be proud to put on their walls.
And something like this, it's
not crazy. Dion still signs a good bit of stuff. You're probably talking in that $600 range to start off with.
See, and that's a nice piece. Now I want to show you something that's changed. There's two things I'm going to show you that are very unique, and A-Town Authentics has them. I love the logo too, by the way, because you took the word that most people don't know how to spell and put it in cursive just to make it hard. But what you do is you go to atownauthentic.com. And it's Jason. He and I have known each other, since I would say early '90s, before my radio career. And we were on the pitch together. And I can think of some really tough games. It's almost like I get with these guys the relationships and being in a game, because we were at a high level, and there's no joke, man. There's camaraderie, there's love, and there's there's intense.
Those are fun times.
Those are great times, and I love that you're in a sports industry doing what we were doing. But this is a different way. This is compact and small. Most people have the sleeves, and it's a bigger piece.
For sure. And there's some jerseys that are authentic and deserve to be framed big and large, and there's a lot of jerseys these days that are made that they call custom jerseys that don't necessarily have all the logos and patches and stuff on it. So to do them big takes up a lot of room, and there's not adding that much pizzazz. So we scale it down a little bit. You still see the name, you still see the signature and the numbers and such, but it allows us also to be able to put some images and some logos in here, and again, smaller footprint where you can build a collection, and you could put 4 of these in one area of a that you would take up with a bigger, larger piece.
I like the Austin Riley. It kind of goes to what you said before. It's constantly updating and changing. You don't have to rely on selling Dale Murphy and Herschel Walker jerseys.
Love Dale, yep.
There's always going to be a new star.
You're
some
right.
new stars coming out that people want. I saw somewhere around here. You got a Brock Bowers.
Mm-hmm.
No, we got Brock
That's
Bowers
new.
over there, and I want to show this Pele. And you brought in an assistant that's going to assist me, because this is a big piece, and I don't want responsibility of holding it.
What you were saying though about the new guys, like Michael Harris, has been. Did you see that home run last night, the Grand Slam?
I covered it on Sports Fox FM. Braves win win. Braves win 13-2.
So we were part of Michael Harris's first ever gala this year, and a great guy. And to see him come in, like I said, hopefully he's signed for many years, going to be the next superstar. So you're going to have constant, fresh people that people want to have.
Look at this. Talk about the plug-in and what you have here. This piece is incredible.
Oh, it plugs in.
Oh yeah. Oh. So it's this is what we feel is going to be the next evolution of sports memorabilia. Is we take our classic framed, in this case a nice Pele jersey, and add an element to it that a lot of people haven't seen, and this is the video panel. Now, we're even upgrading this as we speak to a little bit larger with better speakers, touchscreen technology, Wi-Fi capability where you can upload and update video wirelessly from your phone to the video player.
Wow.
A lot of technology, as you know, changes very fast, and it's coming in, but the ability to hang this on the wall and just with the touch of an app on your phone, turn it on, watch videos, add new video, edit, all that kind of
here,
stuff.
Help me turn it. I want to show everybody this. Look at this on the back. So this piece here you go. Got it, Jeff? Turn it. You can see, let's lift up higher, and you can see where the plug is right here. Yep. So it plugs in, and you literally can come up and press the video and have a live video of this piece.
Yep. And it's got LED lights too, so you plug it in, it'll pop.
So there's LED lights on it too?
in the thing. So we can we can put a lot of bells and whistles on stuff these days.
It would be cool if you could have a video of the person signing whatever the piece is.
We can do that.
If you get a video of it, and then add that to the video frame so you can see that, hey, not only do I have the authentic certificate, I got a video of it happening.
There's so many people, and athletes are becoming, most of your players are becoming very accessible these days. They're doing public signings. They're getting out in the public. That's part of their growing their brand, right?
Hell, Chipper and I both have two boys in the same league. That's where we see each other. I give him, he loves the bourbon. Matter of fact, his exact words, if I could say, smoothest thing in his basement. But I shouldn't have, but it's true. He said it. But no, Chipper and I see each other. He likes the bourbon, and our kids, he actually coached my kid on third base.
That's awesome.
Brooks is on third base playing. Chipper is the third base coach for his runners, and I literally go up to him because I'm a coach, and I said, Brooks, you should listen to this guy. He knows a little bit about third base, just a little bit. And Brooks had no idea who he was. So Brooks is sitting there playing, and I look up, and Chipper's coaching him. And I see him doing things, and Chipper's doing this, and Brooks is doing it. So he's literally having conversations, showing him how to put his foot on the bag. I go, all right, Chipper Jones is coaching my kid on third. This might be the greatest moment, just even though I'm friends with him, but it's just cool to see. And then there was a point to where the ball came to Brooks and his runner was coming. He goes, no, tag the base, because Brooks was going to throw to first because they're programmed to do that. Right. He goes, no, touch the base. He touches the base and gets one of his team, this kid out just to help Brooks.
That's awesome.
And I was like, that's awesome. But he's a guy in the community that you can run into, and a lot of people are apprehensive to walk up to take a picture or to get something signed. They know with you that's what's going on. Is there a time and a place where you do this kind of thing with these guys?
Sure. I mean, different athletes, like I say, are accessible in different areas. Now, I always respect somebody's time if they're out
and they're with their family
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they all, understand that there's a demand out there for their signatures and for their, picture taking and time to meet the fans.
And they live forever.
Absolutely. And
that's the way I'd look at it.
And like I said, it's we've all learned about brand and marketing and your image and stuff out there. So they arrange times, and there's contractual relationships with people that put on an event where they would do signings of memorabilia, and they get compensated for that, their time, whether it's a block of time or whether it's per signature. And different athletes have put different values on that. A guy like Tom Brady that has made tons of money, and was married to somebody who was worth even more. Didn't really need to go out and do signings, but he would do it. But if he's going to do it, he's going to get compensated, and that's why.
Isn't it funny how somebody with all the money in the world wants to get compensated?
Yeah, if anybody would do strictly for charity,
your time,
it would
right?
be him.
Dude, not me. Am I just an idiot? Because I would do that for free.
You're right. That's what this show's about. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of show business. You want people to want your autograph. But I thought you're going to give it away.
Trust me, Southside Steve I already give it away for free. But my God, if I was wealthy, I would really give it away for free. But I understand time, but it's like, to me, you're giving back.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that a lot of the athletes do that, and they all have their own cause. And most people that have gotten to know, like celebrities or athletes, get to know and understand how much they do behind the scenes. Some of that gets public. Most of it doesn't because they don't want it to. They don't really look to do that. They're doing it out of the goodness of their heart, and they don't need the publicity for that. But, from a business standpoint, there is a demand out there, and our society is not slowing down when it comes to admiration of athletes and celebrities. That's just being propelled with all of our kids, with the phones and everything that's being pushed to them and all the messages and such.
I mean,
these
the
days.
Hawktua girl is probably signing autographs.
Oh, I've heard about her
She's
marketing
ball
deal.
caps. She's doing the baseball caps.
Yeah, you get a sign? What I mean, you could.
Don't tell me. Do you have a Hawktua? Spit on that thing. Do you have that hat? Is that part of what you
It's
do?
sort of sticky, but yeah, it's good.
Okay, well, you know what
The
the
funny
heck.
thing
on
is,
there.
if you had one of those next weekend, someone would buy it.
Yep.
All right,
There's a market for anything.
see if you can get a Hawktua. But here's the deal, and I'm not going to ruin this because I want this to live on the air forever for Jason, who is a friend, but also I'm very impressed with what you've built. Nobody helped him. That's what this podcast is about. It's life, liberty, and the pursuit of show business. And what's our tagline?
Unsolicited material.
Did you put out a lot of unsolicited material? Did you send out a lot that you think fell on deaf ears?
For sure, time to time.
It's
there's
tough.
always that. You got to keep marketing.
You got to keep
yourself
sending it
and-
out, marketing it, and
Absolutely.
you expect big returns. Sometimes you're surprised, but most of the time it's in a trash can.
Yep, you're right. You got to keep plugging away. I learned those lessons with my direct sales days, that every no is closer to a yes, and there's a what they call the law of averages out there, and if you go knock on enough doors or shake enough trees, you're liable to find an acorn every once in a while.
By the way, these one-liners, people don't know it. Jason is related fourth cousin to Zig Ziglar.
That's right. Read his books. Good stuff.
You got to read those books. But we look to have you, if you have a business on. And in closing, one of our newest sponsors is Exit Stage Left. That is a company, and basically they sell businesses, and I'm a part of that group. So if you have a business, or you think you're 5 years away from selling one, 10 years away from selling one, they want to meet with you. Exit Stage Left advisors, contact me. I'm a member of the group, but these guys know the billionaires, the millionaires, and they have a way for you to decide in 5, 10 years, or next month to sell your business if you're looking to get out or there's nobody to take it over. You build something and it's huge. If you don't have someone to hand it down to, an employee or a relative, then you're like, I want to sell it. All my hard work, it's time to buy a beach house, or it's time just to pay off the house I live in. It just depends.
Sure.
Whether you make $100,000 or $10 million a year, if you got a business to sell, Exit Stage Left. But this is a business you've built. A-Town Authentics, I can tell you right now, I only endorse people I 100% believe in products. And Jeff, you've come to know Jason. This is the guy. This is the guy you bring into tournaments. This is the guy you bring into charities for your event. You see his stuff. It's on the edge. He's got great relationships with athletes locally and famous athletes. And in closing, I just wanted to show a couple pictures. Here's you signing right now with a guy that broke and ended Joe Theismann's career.
Oof. Yes.
And he's also a
Lawrence Taylor.
talented actor. If you saw the movie Sunday, what was it? Any Given Sunday.
Waterboy.
Waterboy, he was in Waterboy. LT.
Lawrence Taylor.
So you got Lawrence Taylor signing some stuff.
Well, we
here.
had some private association with him, was doing some signings, but more importantly, we helped out his family foundation here in town, and his daughter Tanisha lives locally, and very fortunate to be part of that event the last couple of years. He has a nice VIP dinner and get together the night before, and then
Nice.
a golf tournament the next day. And it was out at one of our favorite places, Bears Best, up there in Swan.
Love Bears Best. That's a great place. And here's the last one with Marquise Grissom. I like Marquise because he grew up in Fayetteville playing Fayetteville baseball in that area. My neighbor was on his team and used to talk about how good this guy was. Then he becomes an Atlanta Brave. And the guy that had played with him was on the grounds crew at the time.
Awesome.
I'm on the radio at the time, so we're all three on the field the year the Braves clinch.
95. One of the favorite moments in Atlanta sports history was Marquise catching the final out of the 95 World Series, right? One of the most
And he's such a nice guy, and he does golf tournaments too.
Those are the next words out of my mouth. One of the most sincere, best guys that I've gotten to know in this business.
I've got a signed bat from him on my wall, and I finally got to talk to him at one of Otis Nixon, who's a friend of both of ours. Otis gives Till It Hurts, and he does a golf tournament. I've emceed it for years. Jason's worked it. And just a lot of local people. So I just want to say to Jason, I'm going to say the SouthsideRide.com. go to the southsideride.com right now if you want to sign up for our event that Jason will be at. It is August 24th. It is the Putt Putt Golf Tournament at Tin Cup Grill, along with the 2-year anniversary. They're less than a mile apart. We will do the awards at the at Tin Cup. We'll basically gather everything up and move over to the distillery, and you'll be in the legacy room. That's where all your memorabilia will be. So if you show up for the anniversary, you'll stay there for a little bit, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Selling some stuff. My brothers are coming, who you played soccer with.
I get to see Kevin and Matt.
You get to see Kevin and Matt. So we want you there too. Tickets are on sale at FreshTix.com. And lastly, to go to A-Town Authentics, it is ATownAuthentics.com. How else can they see your stuff? You've got some websites Facebook?
There's social media pages. We have a Facebook page. We have an Instagram page that we can post on the website as well. A lot of new and growing and emerging markets as well there as far as the social media and contacting us. Got a good help on that end. And
you got your guy here.
For sure.
You want to give him
a little
some
bit
love?
of retail. We have a little retail establishment at Mall of Georgia during the holidays. So if you can't find us at a charity event, then go to Mall of Georgia outside of Macy's at the holiday time, and you'll find us.
Can you do some music stuff for Jeff? He's not
I've
into
got
sports.
lots of music stuff. I should have brought some for Jeff today, but
Can we think about it? Van Halen, your number one band. If you get one of those new pieces where it's wired in, load up Van Halen videos for your piece of the picture maybe that you have framed.
We go right in my Van Halen studio.
He has an
Absolutely.
entire Van Halen studio, and soon the backdrop for our morning show, you will see you're actually going to put one of your guitars on the wall. Don't worry, the doors are locked. You'll have to break in to steal it. But that's it. That's the Yeah Come On show. Jason, can I get a Yeah Come On?
yeah, come on.